Oculists, if they scan you, sentient fighters won't be far behind. The sentients are causing too much interference. You have to deal with them before we can go on.
So the Xenoid Gammacor has received its Incarnon, and I've already given it a crack. It's pretty good, but it does actually require some getting used to. We're here in the simulacrum with Mag. What's interesting is that I find that just as a baseline, the beam has massively improved thanks to the Incarnon. I am of course using something like Secondary Encumber, so as you can see the beam is kind of shredding these corrupted heavy gunners pretty well. If I were to group them together, like so, and then just wait for them to all stand up. Yeah, as a baseline, these guys are dying. And that's wonderful. Thing is though, at a baseline, without doing anything else, if I were to use the Incarnon mode now, it doesn't really feel like it's doing a lot of damage. I mean, yeah, I'm still going to be able to kill these corrupted heavy gunners, but man, I just have to use so many shots. Whereas, like, the beam can kill individual corrupted heavy gunners pretty damn quickly. That is because I've actually missed something. I'll just show you the build first so you get an idea of what I've missed. Because this is what I've got. It's actually more of a primer hybrid damage build, if you will, because we are actually going to be using Hornet Strike because we're not using Secondary Deadhead. So, Hornet Strike is back on the menu. We've got crit on the Riven, so this is even like a demonstration with a Riven. You don't necessarily have to use a Riven if you don't want to, but I'm going to show it off with a Riven, whatever. Lethal Torrent is good. I can't fit Galv Diffusion on this build. As you can see, I have no more mod energy. That's why I'm not using Galv Diffusion. I just can't fit it in there. Condition Overload, Corrosive, and Eject Magazine. Now, this is something I didn't have in my previous video about, well, Secondary Encumber, actually. But Eject Magazine I think is really, really important because otherwise it just takes way too bloody long for the weapon to reload by itself when it's holstered. So I personally prefer having Eject Magazine in there. That's why I've actually gone ahead and put another former on this Xenoid Gammacor, raising it from 5 to bloody 6. So that's kind of insane. But that doesn't really show us what I've missed. Because what I've actually missed is not Evolution 1. Evolution 1 basically tells us what it does. You fire projectiles that pull enemies in and they do cold damage. Wonderful. It's actually Evolution 2 that I forgot. Where the idea is when I spend 50 energy, it increases my damage by a base of 5. So that's actually kind of nuts because the base damage of the Xenoid Gammacor is not particularly high. So this base damage increase of a flat 5 is kind of massive. Then also, Evolution 3, as always, Evolution 3 is a bit of a meme evolution. It's really just a lot of quality of life choices. I've decided to go for the extra range, whatever, it doesn't matter. And then Evolution 4, I've actually gone for Survivor's Edge, increased critical and status chance by 4. Mainly because when I have that 4% base status chance increase, with the build that I have, which only has 2 status mods, being the Corrosive 60/60s, I'm still sitting at 96% status chance. So that's basically enough. That's all I really need in order to maintain Secondary Encumber happening. Because remember, going over the status doesn't actually help with Secondary Encumber. Neither does multi-shot really, but like still. So, what did I miss? Well, I actually missed the whole using energy increases your base damage thing. Because if we now actually try and make use of that through mag by burning about 200 energy, like so. So you can see a ×4 multiplier on a counter now. Damage that I'm doing with my Xenoid Gammacor actually feels like it is risen quite spectacularly. Now, unfortunately, looks like your stacks will disappear instantly if you actually run out of the timer, so you're going to have to keep burning energy. It's kind of wild, but I think on a weapon like Xenoid Gammacor, it should be okay. Especially because in a normal mission, your Xenoid Gammacor will also be producing stacks in order to then give you a bunch of energy back, so there is that as well. So naturally, if you're using a particularly energy efficient, well not even energy efficient, but if you're using a Warframe that has a really high energy pool, that might be a good chance for you to really capitalize on the power of something like Xenoid Gammacor, so potentially me with Wisp or me with Saren, maybe. There are potentially some Warframes out there that can really help you capitalize on that. Honestly, when it comes to mag, like this particular evolution is going to be a little bit more difficult to use because the alternative to Evolution 1 was using a channel ability, and by default mag doesn't have any channel abilities. So that's kind of odd. I'm not entirely sure what other channel abilities you're meant to use, because whenever I think of channel abilities, I immediately think of things like Soulgate, in which case I can't use it. Maybe something like, or maybe something like Ureli might be the way to go, but either way, there's a lot of options you have available. Point is, the way that I play Xenoid Gammacor, I'm still grateful for the Incarnon because it at least gives me that 6%, well in my case 4% status increase at base, which does mean that I don't need to use 3 60/60 mods in order to maintain almost 100% status chance, so that's nice. But I think for the most part, I'm probably not going to be super duper appreciative of the Incarnon mode, especially when Evolution 1 is involved, because it really seems like the Incarnon mode is balanced around Evolution 1. So without having that additional base damage increase, Incarnon mode really does feel like it doesn't do a whole lot of damage. But once you get that Evolution 1 going, yeah, it does actually do a pretty decent amount of damage. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments below. How do you feel about the Incarnon mode for the Gammacor, and what kind of build have you decided to go with? And also, what Warframe are you using it with? Because I get the feeling that's going to make a pretty big difference to your experience with the Gammacor Incarnon. Outside of that, hope you guys enjoyed this. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more Warframe content, and until next time, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye!